So the only thing we don't have up here is a number about blockchain, but I'm sure there will be one in here somewhere. Yeah, that'll have to work. Oh, well, I could use this as a Bitcoin, I suppose. Seeing, this thing right here is on there. Well, I mean, you're going to talk about task assisted, frame tables of catching the same window of voter rights. And, somebody could vote 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, and apparently that's a voter's right from the last interview she had, not necessarily this one. Dealing with the frame rate here, right? The bit caches that you have to do to understand, well, the world record on Super Mario 2 is going to be like in the 820s now, 830s now, something like that. It's a pretty low score. This one, I'm not exactly sure what it is anymore. But again, that's kind of random but interesting, right? Thinking about that bit clock with the frame tables of zeros and ones sliding in that give you one of these kind of special glitches. I mean, Mario World is so broken in terms of the glitches you can use for world record speedrun. Here, again, timetables for voting rights and things like that. Obviously, the Bachelor idol, right? You're going to deal with... This is task assisted, TAS. We're talking about frame rates inside of timetables of the train and how your brain commonly does things and why it does it that way. Oh, you stretch it all down, and what's left at Flat World is you as an ideal gas, or you're not even on the plane yet, but there's you, and therefore there has to be a plane because it's not just crazy. And that, in a way, is a timetable. It's to say, well, it's faster, do it this way. At frame rate, you're going to pull Mario out on the glitch here and just do it up. I haven't watched that SCP yet. We're saving that for a little bit later after I get through the most of the news this morning. Yeah, gotta eat the shit before you get your dessert.
Hydrates better than the $400 cream. Shop at Olay.com.
Well, there's a few other. I mean, it depends on which type of heck you like. If you like a hyperbole is a timetable.
And so is the RBI, the most random but interesting thing you may hear today. CNBC style, of course. And what is more CNBC than laying out what companies are making investors, and hopefully you, the most money? So now that last year is in the books, let's find out what super stocks were some of the superstars of the indexes. So now, let's present 2021's best stocks.
Home Depot, Devon, I wouldn't have known that one.
In each index.
GameStop.
In the Dow, it was Home Depot, up 56%.
Of course.
The S&P 500, the numbers start to get big. Devon Energy, up 179. Even bigger, the Nasdaq
this is
Lucid Group,
rich people to poor people. Everybody needs Home Depot. Yeah, just the price on it is like, doesn't matter how rich you are, you're just not going to use on principle more expensive lumber unless it's the shipping distance for the frame rate you're modeling inside here. That just does not matter. It's going to be one of these, and usually Home Depot has a lot more meme stock on it. It's got to have a lot more momentum or spin to it. Something you factor accordingly on the danger noodle.
Beat the Dow and the Nasdaq last year. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's the first time the S&P has beaten both of those indexes since all the way back in 2005. All right, that's the good news. Let's end the show on a low note, at least this segment, because while we just gave you the best stocks, let's be fair and get both sides. So without further ado,
it's hard to quantify worst.
For the single worst major stock
easy.
market cap about
bad.
500 million.
I mean, you could say the worst loss.
Early darling, then faded.
You could say,
over the year,
yeah.
Down 76%.
And they were pushing it hard too, trying to keep that thing up. It should have. Out of the thing, what do you got? Tony Horton out there? In terms of the sector, you really ain't got nothing out there. Peloton was the only thing that did it. It's got the tech, it's got the physics, it's got the biometrics, the neurology.
Now they're thinking, what can we do this year? What do you got?
People just interested in money.
So it's great to be with you on this first
just random and interesting.
New year. So let's talk about what type of companies you want to focus on. You want to focus on companies that have great demand for their products. You want to focus on companies that are
like
not
Peloton,
easily
at
substituted.
Least you'd imagine. But that silver mine was going to run dry. Once everybody has a bike or a treadmill or what basic package they like, no reason to buy any more. Say out of the demographic,
this makes up about 25% of their revenues.
let's just say a third of them are
and the
You got the smart ones, you got the
clipboard.
strong ones, you got the
That's
smart
indication
strong
that
ones,
the
and
records
you
have not
got
been
just
digitized.
just
And this
lazy
is a great
on the
opportunity
Z-Bozon,
for
right? Let's
United
just set it up
Health.
like that.
It is also one of the few
Peloton,
health
United
insurance
Health,
companies that's in
Delta,
130
and
countries, and it's growing internationally.
Quantum's back? Sure.
Another company
Peloton,
that you
whatever.
may want to look at is KeyCorp, a finance company that is a U.S. regional bank, about 23
BuzzFeed.
billion, and it's doing
Important.
quite well. And
No
so
offense.
it
Right now
also
you're doing-
has a very unique
as far as I
acquisition
know, you're doing.
strategy. It has acquired business digital
You
platform,
keep that number up there, and you
consulting
round
company,
robin it, and
also
it's like it's
a
hard with the
digital
stock market
lending
because you have so many
organization.
options, right?
Great
Yeah,
growth.
everything coming at you in a hot mess, but
Yeah,
today's
KeyCorp
number,
and United
KeyCorp.
Health is where fighting
And
on
we're
another
just
one,
going to round
United
robin
Microelectronics.
as a
Don't
general
lot of time
relativity
left to
test,
show UMC what you love
frame
about it.
rate, and check your numbers about what glitch you
What
got.
we love about this is that one,
You know,
it's
and you just
ADR
find all those
based in
lines, and
Taiwan,
you do those
and it
task
is
assisted
actually,
things.
when
You
you
do the
look at
backwards
valuation,
jump and
it
the
has a
the
forward
fireball
PE of
on Mario.
20 times the industry average.